Good morning, everyone. My name is Julia Cruz-Fallica. I am the World of Work Coordinator at Bostonia Global High School, our district's first high school. And I have the amazing pleasure of working with these scholars you see here and every other scholar on campus. I like to say that I really have my dream role right now. There's nothing more fulfilling, honestly, than working with these students. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who we are, and then we'll get into some questions that the scholars are going to answer, because honestly, you really want to hear from them and not from me, right? So at Bostonia Global, we are an in-district charter, and our district mission is happy kids, healthy relationships on a path to gainful employment. It's very simple, very, very powerful, and that's what we're doing with our students. They're going to talk a little bit more about all of those aspects. So what we're attempting to do is really close that gap between the separation of education and then entering into the workforce. What we want to do with our World of Work program is integrate those two and have that path to gainful employment, all the knowledge, the skills that students need to enter into the workforce, either maybe their third year of high school, fourth year of high school, and then after high school, after college, whatever their path may be. We're not waiting until those years to start to educate them on the world of work. In Cajon Valley, we start with our littles and we go all the way up. Some of the design elements at Bostonia Global High School is we have a strong advisory model, and the students will talk about that in a bit. We're really looking at creating a strong impact within the global community, giving students voice and ability to figure out really where they fit and what they can do within the community. And then we're looking for an individual pathway for every single scholar. So, it's not a one-size-fits-all by any means. It's not a five-sizes-fits-all. It's every single student gets to have an opportunity to really work on that pathway to gainful employment. This is just a little bit to show you within the high school, what does the journey to mentorship look like? Because that is an opportunity that students have at the high school. We have a 12-week mentorship program where students leave campus. They have the opportunity to go do that place-based learning, and they can go out Tuesdays and Thursdays in lieu of being in the classroom. So we start out the year with a lot of RIASECT and interest wall that's built in, embedded into the world of work. They're doing a lot of career exploration. There's self-exploration through a variety of inventories and other things. Every student builds a resume. Every student creates an elevator pitch, which you're going to hear right here. We have work-based fairs where students are able to talk with and connect with all the professionals within the community. We really, really believe, and we actually know that we have a very, very valuable talent pipeline right here at the high school. And so we invite community members from El Cajon and the surrounding areas to come on in and talk to our scholars about what they do and share their professional experience. Students can do virtual mentorships in addition to real-life mentorships. They start searching. They really learn what is it like to try to land a job. Although this is not officially a job, a couple of them have turned in their mentorships, turned into a job, but they really start to go through that process. We have mock interviews. We teach them how to make phone calls, all of those things, doing outreach, presenting themselves. And then at the end of their mentorship, they present a Learning Through Interest project. And that's really where we get to see the value in that time, that place-based learning that the student did. How did that help you prepare for a career? What's the research? What are you thinking? And really, is that something you think you're going to continue on? Or maybe that learning, the value in that learning is that that's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, and that's not something that I want to continue on. So we are very, very proud to place some of our students within our own district. We're not asking any community members to do something that we wouldn't do ourselves. And so you have some wonderful pictures there of some of our students these are all district placements. And for right now, I think I'm going to stop talking because I know you really want to hear from the kiddos. So I want you all to just introduce yourself and tell the people who you are. And we'll start down with Christopher.
Hi, my name is Christopher Vargas-Ibarra. I'm a freshman at Bostonia Global High School. My interest is working with my hands, working on cars or anything basically with mechanical engineering. My RISEC letters are RIC, and R means that I like to work with my hands, being realistic. I is investigating how to solve problems, and C is doing like calculations, how to do this, filling out paperwork. Excuse me. And I would like to have a mentorship in something where like an automotive industry or maybe even aerospace. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Joliene and I'm a freshman at Bostonia Global. I'm interested in the career of teaching because I love working with people and I'm very interested in helping others and being around children. Thank you.
Jolene, I'm sorry, and Christopher, you are in a mentorship. Would you tell what your mentorship is currently?
Yeah, I'm currently in the library mentorship, which I go Tuesdays and Thursdays, and on Tuesdays, we do a homework and hangout program, which I help students with homework and do crafts. And on Thursdays, I do a story time with preschoolers, which I very much enjoy.
Christopher, will you real quick before we move on? Yes, applause for Jolene. Christopher?
So my mentorship is working with the city of Cajon in fleet services, which is where they fix police cars, fire trucks, lawn equipment, basically anything in the city, you name it, they work on there. And they literally have everything that I could do there, learning how to do this on police cars and that on fire trucks. And it's very entertaining. I like my mentorship a lot.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Carmine Ledbetter-Cavallaro. I am a 10th grade scholar at Bostonia Global High School. My RISEC code is SIE, so I'm kind of an overall social person. I like to help people, and that directly ties into my career aspirations of being a firefighter. And speaking of that, so my internship is with Heartland Fire, where I kind of go on Tuesdays and Thursdays, run around in gear, and just kind of learn about some of the skills required for that.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Dhuha Tareq. I'm a sophomore at Bostonia Global High School, and kind of going off of what Julia said about kind of a mentorship being like a kind of like demonstration of something you do want to do or don't want to do. I tried out something in the interior design career path, and I realized that it really wasn't for me, and I do really not want to sit in an office 24/7. So I'm currently looking for a different career path. I kind of want to work with kids, but I also want to go like the medical route, but it kind of just depends on where I land. So yeah.
Thank you, Dhuha.
Hi everybody, I'm Shay Zadrozny. I am a 10th grader at Bostonia Global High School. My RISEC is IAR, so Investigative, Artistic, and Realistic. Currently, my career path and interest follows along with the Investigative RISEC code, which is more science-based, the problem solvers thinkers. So I'm interested in environmental or biological science based off a few classes I've taken at Bostonia. And for my mentorship, currently I am at the El Cajon County Library with Joliene, where we both are tutoring, and then I run Beginner's Reading Circle. And I got to do that because of another program I was put in through the district, well, the school with Thinkist, where I became a certified math tutor, so I'm able to help kids with that skill set.
Yes. Good start. Wonderful. So one of the important things that we do at Bostonia Global and within the district is the advisory model, where really we are about building relationships, having the students build relationships with adults who really know them and care about them, and then also students building relationships with each other. So I just want to ask the students to just tell me a little bit about your experience with advisory and advisors, and really what you feel about the relationships on campus. Shay, you want to start? Okay.
Sure. So last year was my first year at Bostonia, and I had a different advisor that I do now. Sadly, he had to move out of state. So this year, I'm with a new advisor, so it was kind of a rough start because I wasn't with him last year. But real quick, we got into we do circles twice a week. So in the morning on Mondays, we come in and we set goals for the week. We talk about our weekend. And then on Fridays, we kind of close it up, say if we completed the goals, and then what our plans are for the next weekend, and so on. And so that's just a very fun place to not only get to know my advisor, but also my other students. So it's very fun to kind of hear what everyone's doing. And then just kind of around campus, I mean, you can ask Julia. I come into the office randomly and come and hang out with everybody. It's so much fun to be able to just kind of conversate with everyone. And everyone is just so openly and homey and stuff, so it's just a fun environment.
Thank you.
So again, kind of similar to Shay. Last year, I had a different advisor. I still I got along with that advisor very well, and we had like a really strong bond. And then I got a new advisor because of some circumstances, but my advisor right now, currently, I absolutely love him to death. He's so amazing, and I'm like, I can tell him anything, literally anything, and he probably knows a little too much, but I kind of got to experience kind of having somebody at school, which is so different than what I've had like before. I can go to them, I can talk to them, I can ask them about careers, or I can ask them about anything else, like their experience in life as well. And it's just really amazing. And also, like, last year being our first year, you can go into any of the classrooms and all the teachers will know you by your first name.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, to kind of build off what my peers have been saying, it's really cool. You kind of get to know all the advisors around the school, but the one you're probably going to end up being closest with is your homeroom advisor. And not just with them, but also the people in your class. That's kind of like your extended family, you know, your at school family. And it's really cool to be able to grow with them and just as time goes on.
So I love, the one thing I love about this school is the advisory program, because I feel like I have this wonderful connection where I can just like tell them everything. Like, I feel they know me more than I know myself. So if I was to go to like a normal traditional high school, it would be like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, they're a student in my class. But in this school, it's like a more personal level. They really know how to help me and everything on a personal level.
So due to the size of the school, which is very little, you feel more connected to the advisor since there's so little students in the classroom, and you can actually feel the connection between you, the advisor, and everyone else, all of your students in there. And it's really cool. This was one of the reasons why I got into the school, because it's like, oh, those other high schools are just like a lot of people and they barely would care about if I just left. But since there's so many little and you have them twice, it's like, oh, they actually care about me. And I just love my advisor to death. She's really cool. I feel like I can talk to her about anything, careers, my personal life, family, and everything. She's just really cool.
Thank you. All right. So as part of the World of Work program, we really try to give students opportunities to investigate. There are a variety of tools that we use, inventories and other things, and a lot of time in advisory where students are investigating their strengths, their interests, and their values. And as you saw before, part of our mission is that path to gainful employment. So I'd like the students to just speak about basically your strengths, interests, and values, sort of what you know about them, and how are those helping you connect to a potential path to gainful employment, you know, within the world of work. Just really that self-exploration time you have. You want to start, Shay?
So, like I said earlier, my RISEC is IAR, which are kind of my main strengths. Investigative is like the science, problem solvers, thinkers, realistics, like hand-on, and not working with hands instead of just like computer, and then artistic's kind of in its name, the creativity. And so using that knowledge, I was able to choose my classes for our school. And so I was taking our sustainable agriculture, and then I took a marine pollution one. So I was very able to kind of hone in on that skill set and learn more about it and kind of grow my interest. And then when I go to pick my mentorships and all that, I can really use that in the back of my mind to be like, oh yeah, this really fits for what I want to do. And then we also do dual enrollment with colleges. So when I was picking up my college classes, I even got to do that the same thing and be like, that really fits with everything that I'm interested in. So I wasn't like kind of lost in the sea.
Thank you.
So for my RISEC codes, they are EIA, which is enterprising, investigative, and artistic. And I'd say my career path is more through investigative. My old one, I'd say used to be artistic. But through investigative, I guess I kind of usually like being around people, which I kind of really need to retake that RISEC code test. But I think I I'm super social, which I really like being around a lot of people, and I really like communicating with others. I think that's one of the reasons that I really did not like that office job, because there really wasn't a lot of people to be around or communicate with, and being around people kind of just like brings like myself to everybody, and I was able to put that through like my mentorships. Now that I know like where I stand, I know to look through career paths that are more social and more working with people.
Thank you.
So it's really cool to be able to, look at your RISEC code, and if you don't know necessarily what you want to do, it can help you kind of find somewhere to go. So, for example, last year, I had a hobby. I'm very interested in like aquariums and things like that. So I did an internship around that. And I would say that kind of fell more into the RISEC code of R, which is a letter I used to have a lot. But as time went on, it kind of started to change into more of a social, which is kind of where my firefighting went now. And so it's kind of cool to see how it evolved and changed, and it can help you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I've been in this school since 3rd grade, and since 3rd grade, they've been teaching us all about the RISEC. So at this point, I'm very familiarized. Yeah. And I feel like all of these RISEC letters, because mine are SEA, and I feel like these have really helped me know what career path I want to have. Because social is obviously helping people, being around people, and then enterprising is being a leader, a persuader, and then artistic, which would be like creator, doing things with your hands, doing artistic things. And I feel like all of these RISEC letters and knowing about these RISEC letters has helped me know on a personal level, me, and also the career path I want to take.
Thank you.
So my RISEC letters, I've already said, is RIC, which means I like to work with my hands, and this RISEC letter, I've never heard of RISEC until like 6th grade, because my old school actually did the program, and this actually really helped me a lot with trying to see what career that I wanted, because little 6th grade me was like, wait, what is this? What does this mean? What does this mean? So this RISEC program really helped me a lot, and ever since I joined Bostonia, it's been way more fluid on seeing what careers I want. Whereas with a traditional high school, I probably would have been like, oh, what's this? What's this? And I've been really confused. But Bostonia has helped me a lot with this.
Great. Can we just take a moment to acknowledge these teenagers expressing themselves in that way? Right? I mean, I know these students, I talk to them all the time, but I'm still so impressed. I was like, wow. You sound so great. I did not tell them what to say, I guarantee it. Talking about that, so you see the Joliene talking about learning through that self-exploration, using the Tom Holland's RISEC and so our world of work since 3rd grade and really knowing it well. But Christopher talked about how he did not come to the district until 6th grade. You were in another state actually before, right? And every year we do exploration. It's not like, oh, they've already done that. We don't need to do that again, right? Every year the students they're changing. The world around them is changing. They've got more information. We want to be able to give them the tools to get more information about themselves. So I want to talk a little bit about Beable and within the Beable program, how RISEC is embedded, how what information are you kind of getting for yourself? What do you like about that? Able to explore careers and pick your reading, anything like that. Chris, why don't you go ahead and start?
So with Beable, in some lessons, they show the RISEC code that the lesson aligns with, and I think that's really useful because I can learn more about maybe the career I want to do, other careers, maybe other little itty bitty details I want. And Beable also does the thing where it's like, it does a little quiz where you can find lessons that are relevant to you, and I think that's really useful, so I don't get just lost in the sea of little lessons that I don't need. Instead, Beable just says, okay, here, this is a quiz, so you can just find everything that you want.
Going off on what Chris said, there's actually a page on Beable program where you can see, like, you can take a quiz, so you can see what RIASEC letters you have very updated. And based on those RIASEC letters, it actually gives you career choices you may possibly want. And then after you pick some career choices you want, actually mine is teaching. So it gives you like a Lexile level. And based on that Lexile level, it helps you like with the lessons. So all the lessons are personalized, not only with the RIASEC code, but actually what career you're interested in.
So one of the really cool features of Beable is it had this little area where it gives you lessons based off just careers. So it just kind of shows you different careers, just random careers from architect to construction managers, things like that. And so that's really cool because it helps you to explore. Because you could find a career on Beable you didn't know existed, and oh, that's kind of interesting. It can just kind of help with that whole exploring world of work tie-in.
So going off of what they were saying, well, now I know where the test is, so I will retake it. But so kind of going off of what they were saying about like the different sections, you can go in and you can like take lessons through all the different codes and like all the letters, and you can go in and see the career paths you can take, some of the ones that you're interested in, and not necessarily like your 3 codes have to be what you have to do. You can go on in different letters and different codes and be what you're interested in, because let's face it, not all technology is really that great, and a computer's not going to know you that well, but that's like one of the greatest things. So.
Yeah, I'd say along the lines with everyone else who already stole my ideas. So one of my favorite things about Beable is probably how personalized it is. I mean, I can choose lessons from any type of subject, any type of RIASEC code, literally anything, and then I can change it to my personal Lexile level, so I'm not reading behind and I'm able to actually grow. And it's just very fun to be able to have that choice, because I think it's a lot more interesting when I'm able to choose what I want to do instead of being like, oh yeah, you have to do this.
Thank you. And as just a little follow-up, Joliene, since I know you used that in lower grades, what are some of the differences between when you were using Beable, you were in primary school, and now in high school? Are you noticing anything?
Well, actually, I feel like they're more career-based now. Not career-based, but I'm seeing more lessons based on teaching. So I feel like throughout the years, I've become more and more interested in teaching. So the lessons have definitely adapted to my interest.
Great. Okay, great. Beable, there's your force you can hire, right? You can hire all of these students here for you, right? Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think, what we are trying to do at Bostonia Global and within the district as well, as you can see, is we're really trying to meet the needs of these amazing scholars. And I want to give them the opportunity to talk to. You have a room full of adults in here. They're all in education, right? And you have them here to listen to you. I want you to talk about, how should we as adults be transforming education? What do you feel like you need? What do you want to see? Tell us. We want to know. Okay.
So I kind of said it a little bit before, but I feel like one of the main things for schooling in all ages is playing to kids' interest. A lot of the times, when I either talk to younger kids or even my peers, a lot of times if someone's doing something that they're not truly interested in, they're listening and they're learning, but they're not truly understanding and taking in all that information. And so it's not useless, but it's just there, and it's not ever going to be used in a way that's gainful to them. And I feel like if we're able to do something that plays into that student's interest to where they're truly paying attention and truly listening and learning, it'd be so much more beneficial.
So I'd say one thing that kind of Bostonia has shown me that not a bunch of my other schools have shown me is like the relationships with my advisors. I'd say like when kids go to school, to see that they have somebody there that cares for them, because not everybody comes from like an amazing background. Not everybody has a great family at home, and knowing that somebody at school, especially at school, that cares for you, and you know that you can go to them for anything and you can talk to them and they'll listen to you and they'll give you advice. Like I've gone to my advisor for literally a bunch of different advice, and he's always been spot on, so that's kind of what I really love.
Great, thank you, Dhuha.
One of the things I personally value a lot in education is a mutual respect for everyone. And I mean, at school there's going to be people of different religions, races, cultures, and all that. And while we don't all have to agree with each other, I feel it's important we all respect each other. And I think that's really important to instill from a young age and going up.
Thank you, Carmine.
What I feel could be helped or like changed in schools would be the schools hearing more students' voices, because sometimes students feel like more nervous making their voices heard. So knowing that someone is interested in your well-being and not feeling ashamed of your voice and asking for help is definitely something that could be helped in. So just making other students' voices be heard would be great.
Thank you.
So going off of what Joliene said, I think it's really important for students to have their voices heard, and even if they're nervous, I think that someone should be like, it's okay if you want to have your voice heard. We don't care what you say, just as long as it's helpful and we can help you with the problem that you have. And I think that's really important for education and for all of us to respect each other, respect the way you want to be respected, and we should all treat each other like equal. And another part of education I think it's important is that trying to help students prepare for the future, because in my traditional high school I was going to go to, they're really going to help me, like how RISEC, World of Work helped me. So when I joined this high school, it was like phenomenal on how they would help me with my career.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. So Chris is kind of leading me into my final question. This is a little bit self-serving on my part because I'm the World of Work coordinator. I want to know, and I think that for everyone else out here, as part of your high school program, your high school year, could you pick one, maybe two particular things that you feel have been the most key in preparing you for that path to gainful employment? So is that, that self-exploration with RISEC, the resume building, elevator pitches, mock interviews, virtual mentorships, doing community mapping, like work-based learning fair? What do you think, if you could pick one thing that you think would be really, really key to helping prepare you for that path to gainful employment?
I'd say if I had to pick one thing out of everything that I've done, it would be the work-based fair that we had earlier in the year. I'd say, because we had like a bunch of different people from a bunch of different backgrounds, the firefighters, police officers, like people from sales. The way we got to go around, introduce ourselves, do our elevator pitches, and kind of just like meet everybody, and they'll give you advice on what you kind of should work on. Like one of the advice that I got was making my resume a little more, I guess, showy, kind of making it like a little eye-catching, so the employer will be more drawn to yours than everybody else's.
Great, thank you, Dhuha.
If I had to pick one thing that I would say would have been the biggest deciding factor in my success so far, I'd probably have to say had a lot to do with just people at the school, one of them being my advisor. They, always pushed me and my classmates to be the best and, to strive for greatness. And I don't think if they were there, I would be nearly as far as I am now.
Awesome.
If I would pick one thing, I think it would be the RISEC, because it really does help me learn more about my career choices. And taking quizzes each year really helps you know, like, how have I changed and how can I improve? Because RISEC is really knowing yourself on a more deeper and personal level.
So stealing Joliene's idea, I think that RISEC's also like the most important key thing to knowing what you want, because RISEC just shows you, like, tries to help you along with your career path. These letters, like 6 letters, like tells you, like, are you this, are you that? And if you fill this criteria, oh, you're this letter. And you get 3 of these letters, and you can explore the careers that these letters have and see if you're interested in them. And I think that's really useful.
Yeah, I think for me, specifically to Bostonia, is the mentorships. I think sitting there in class and like writing resumes and doing mock interviews are all very important, but nothing can truly prepare you than to do it yourself. Because I mean, you can sit in front of someone and have a pretend interview and stuff, but in the back of your mind, you always know this isn't real. So doing it and having that actual like real experience is very important, because I feel like you can't really learn everything out of just reading a book. You have to truly do it, and that's one of my favorite things that we do.
Great, good. I'm taking notes. All of your input really, really matters. So I just want to really thank our students. They, some of them were very nervous, and you did an amazing job. Aren't they incredible? Yes. Thank you, everyone.